Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I achieved the before and after look of my bride. So if you're ready, let's get started. So this was the beginning. My bride is on natural fussy hair and I weaved it all back. Then her frontal wig had a little bit of some sparse area. So I had my ventilator ventilating hair, and then this was the beginning. So I started off by creating the middle part. This middle part makes it very easy for you to create a custom hairline. So take note of that. I created the middle part, then I went in with my wax stick and hot comb to press down the hairline so it's as flat as possible. Now, this is a previously used wig, so you need to pay attention closely. So, from the middle part, I was able to carve out that tiny C there. If you took note of that, if you did not, go back, forward it backwards. Um, I did that on the left and I did it on the right. This middle part guide helps you to get that hairline quickly. So on the other side, which is the down the brow, I still created a C. I still created a C. I'll call it a C. I still created a C curve there, and that also helps you to put the second groove. Our hairlines are not straight, so if you're installing the frontal, you have to make sure that it has dips and grooves. So this is me showing you how to easily achieve a dip and a groove on your hairline, right? So after I did that, I plucked it out. I pinched the hair that I had separated. I pinched it out. Sometimes I use my tweezer to pluck it out, but this method is faster. It's just that it can be risky if you pluck it out and then the knots are on the lace. You have to use your tweezer to pick it out. So the next thing I did was to detail the hairline, and I went in with my tweezer and just made the hairline to have streaks. I did it on both the left side and the right hand side. Then I went on to applying the glue. So I took off her wig and then I started applying the glue. Now, one of the techniques for applying your glue is to always make sure that your glue is there's no bump. Like apply it smooth, let it be smooth. If it is not smooth, if you leave bump on the hairline when you're applying it, it will ruin your install. So make sure that it is smooth, and this is the reason why I also avoid applying on the hairline of the customer. Like when I mean on her hair, I move 1 inch out of her hair and then I apply. So I'm only going to be using 2 layers of glue for her because she's going to be taking off this wig after her traditional marriage and to install another frontal wig. So because I don't want it to last so long, I'm using 2 layers. So this is the first layer. I applied on the left side. Now you can see me applying in the middle here, and I will do the same thing on the other side across the hairline, basically from the left ear to the right ear to ear application. And then I'm going to wait for it to dry. When it's dry, you see that it's clear. Then you now know that okay, it's time to put in another layer. So you can see putting another layer of the glue here, and so this is second layer, and I'm just applying on the same spots that I had applied the other one. I'm applying it ear to ear, and then I'll wait for it to dry. It always has to dry clear. Now when I say dry, it's not doesn't mean the glue dries out completely. You just want the glue to be clear, where you're no longer seeing the white cast from the glue, and then it's now time for you to place your frontal wig on. If you want the glue to dry faster, you can blow dry. So this was me placing the wig with the bride helping me to place it on her hair, and I'm just arranging it, then just making sure that the frontal is sticking to the glue. Then I will proceed to cut. Now, yes, the frontal has already been used before, but I still have to cut. You don't want to install your frontal and the edge of the frontal is scattered. Like if you're using HD lace frontal, guys, even if it's not HD lace and you're reinstalling the glue, you always need to trim the hairline. You always need to cut it out. That is what makes your previously used frontal to come out looking bomb. If you install it just like that without cutting, then that's going to be a problem for you. You will not have flawless finish. So that's one of the lessons that I've learned installing frontal wigs. Okay, I really wanted this video to be very detailed with tips that would help you, change the game for you. And that's the reason why I'm not just telling you what I'm doing, I'm also giving you tips. So please make sure you write it down. So I proceeded to cutting the lace from the other side, from the other right or left hand side, as the case may be. I basically just repeated the same thing, trimmed off the lace, trimmed off the part that I plucked from, trimmed off the edge of the lace. You do not want to glue down that same edge of the lace. You don't want to glue it down. Trust me. Cut it out. Cut it off. Cut it off. So now after cutting those areas of the glue of the lace where there's no glue, you want to make sure you seal it off by applying glue. So you use a tiny applicator. You can use a broomstick. You can use toothpick. Don't use anything fat like your tweezer, and then go into that spot and apply glue. So that's the next thing I'm going to be doing here. So watch me. After I trim off this excess lace that I'm seeing there, I was very, very intentional with this particular installation. And after I finished this off, I then went in with the sealing off of the edges of the lace with glue. So yeah, you can see me. I'm using the tiniest part of my comb to apply the glue to those areas that the glue did not get to. Like I said, you want to make sure you seal off every single thing. Every single this is a game changer for your frontal install. Seal it up, apply glue, and don't apply just one layer. Apply up to two layers. Same way, same amount of layer that you applied, maybe two layers, three layers, apply the same amount of layers, and make sure that the glue you are applying does not come out of the lace. That's why you want to use something that is very, very tiny. This comb I'm using, it's very, very tiny. Sometimes I don't use comb. Sometimes I use toothpick. Yeah. Sometimes I use toothpick. Sometimes I can use the back of my needle to apply the glue. So that's what I'm doing here. And then this other area that is now dry, I then press the frontal into the glue. I can use the back of my comb, or to be on the safe side, I can use, just make sure whatever you're using to press the frontal into the glue is very clean. So this is me, I'm still applying on the other side. By the time I'm done, I'm going to now press in the frontal. So just watch closely and please write down. One of the ways to learn is to write down. If you watch it like a movie, you'll not learn anything. Always get a notepad and write it down. So for this particular part, you can see me, I'm applying the second layer of the glue. I'm removing any excess. You can see what I'm doing with my comb. There was hair there, so I used my comb or tweezer to like pick it off. The middle part where I'm pressing down, I already applied two layers, so I pressed it down since it was clear. The other sides, I'm going to wait for them to dry clear and then I will press it down. So you can see me, I'm pressing it down using my scissors. My scissors is very tiny and precise, so I'm just pressing down those areas into the glue carefully. I'm not using my hand to press down because my hand might be stained from whatever. One thing about frontal install is if you want it to be neat, your application process has to be very, very neat. It has to be very, very neat. So you can see me pressing down and um yeah, so I press down, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to proceed to drying. I love the drying process. It makes the frontal to last long. So you're going to make sure you dry and then you proceed to the next step, which is your mousse wrap. So before I dried, I had not detailed the other side of the hairline. I only did it on one side, so I completed that. I did it on the other side. You can see my bride was really tired and she allowed me to film this entire thing, and I'm very grateful to her. I commend her. I don't even have the words. As I'm even recording this video now, I'm tempted to send her a message and tell her, "Hi, Manu team. Thank you so much for letting me film," because I mean, that was really sweet and kind of her. So, and I really appreciate that. So I detailed it from the beginning, the middle part to the ending. Make sure you don't leave out any area. Um, the point of detailing is to make the frontal to look like it's your hairline. It needs to have those streaks, those line streaks, to make it look like your hair, like the freshly relaxed hair. So yeah. So after that was done, I would then proceed to the next thing. So the next thing I did was to tie down the hair, the front with my band, and then I blow dried for about 5 minutes. I blow dried on warm air, not very hot air, warm air. My bride was also very sensitive to heat. She cannot stand all of those things, so it was a bit uncomfortable for her. She really tried. So I blow dried, and when I was done, I then proceeded to foam wrap. So right here, I am foam wrapping, and guys, one thing I would tell you about foam wrapping is make sure the mousse you are using is not a water-based mousse. Now, you are seeing people using mousse online. But one thing you need to understand is one thing that is not being talked about enough is your mousse should not be water-based. There are different types of mousse. If you don't understand this already, just subscribe to this channel already, because I'm going to be sharing a lot of detailed information about products, hair science for hairstyle. This my channel is relatively new. But yeah, I intend to educate as much as possible with my content. So please subscribe, like this video, share it. The more I see people share, the more I'm going to be sharing. So the mousse I used um is a mousse called Above. It's from a brand, a very OG brand called Above. And this mousse is not water based. When the mousse dries, when the mousse clears, like you know how when you press it, the foam comes out and then it's clearing out, it does not melt into water. It melts into something um that looks like it looks shiny. It's not water, so you don't want a water based. If you use a water based mousse, then that becomes a problem. I have been in that place before, so I use this, and I use very little quantity, to to do this, to wrap this her hairline, to foam wrap it. Wrapping it with mousse makes it look smooth. It makes it look clean. So that's the essence of wrapping. I like to teach the why, So this is why you use it. It makes your frontals look clean. So we dried, you saw me blow drying, and then here I am using the melting spray on the hairline. Melting spray is a game changer. Applying your melting spray on the hairline just makes the frontal to literally disappear. I mean, it doesn't disappear, but it makes it look invisible, like you can barely see it. So that's the reason why melting spray is very, very important. And when you're applying melting spray, another tip is make sure you are only applying the melting spray on the lace. Don't extend it to the skin. Just on the edge of the lace, just apply it there and then dry for a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and then your frontal install is good to go. You can then hot comb and style as desired. So for my bride, this was where we stopped. We just, styled her hair and allowed her to go, and then we saw her the next day. Her makeup was done, and this was her look. Like, she looked absolutely beautiful. This is the back of her hair, and if you want to see a tutorial on maybe bridal styling, you guys should let me know. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in another video. Forget to like, share, and subscribe. The more you subscribe, the more I'm encouraged to share educative content. Trust me, you want to learn from me. I'm going to be sharing a lot about hair science, about things that basic knowledge that a lot of hairstylists don't have access to. All I need you guys to do is to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.